So I watched the video. You did the Mamdani markets.
Mayor,
Tell me what you found out about this city-run grocery store story.
I feel like city-run grocery stores are being presented as like communist.
These are hardcore, godless communists. They're godless communists.
You know, they always conflate communism and socialists
Mhm.
together. And I feel like it really is just kind of common sense. If the market is not serving the needs of all of the people, like the free market that the capitalists love to present, then it only makes sense that the government that you pay taxes to should step in and provide that to you, right? And something that I didn't include in this video that somebody else pointed out to me recently is that the military already does this for the people who are serving. They do this. Yeah, they do this abroad. So basically, people who are serving in the military and their spouses and families are able to go and get food at discounted rates. And Republicans aren't screaming communism.
No, they never do when it comes to. They never scream about inflation when they're asking for $1.5 trillion for the military, right? They never.
Correct.
So yeah, they have this basically this concept of a grocery store on a base, so
Yeah.
that a family can go and get a grocery because obviously, like, you know how much a soldier is making, so like they can't go to like a Walmart in Germany and pay full price because they're only making like $20,000 a year to.
Correct.
So okay, so we know this concept works already, is what you're saying.
The concept works. I seriously doubt that Mamdani is like going to be so incompetent that he's not going to put in the right people to like. This has worked and is currently working for people who are in the military who already receive a lot of social services, you know, in exchange for fighting for the empire, but that's a whole other story. But
yeah, right, exactly.
And Republicans love, you know, their military. They love to call that, you know, a patriotic act, and we have to take care of our current soldiers and our veterans with all of these social services. But yet when somebody wants to do it for their constituents and make sure that people can actually afford to buy groceries, all of a sudden that's communist and scary, and it just wants to kill the free market and wants to, you know, dunk on small businesses and independently run bodegas. And like, that is so beyond what's actually happening.
Are local stores not concerned about this?
Yeah, and I think the people who are concerned about it are business owners, but they're the ones that are owning like franchises, for instance. Because I saw on Fox News that there was a guy who had come in and said, you know, this is going to tank all small independent run grocery stores. And it ended up that he owned a bunch of franchises. So it's like, okay, so you have a vested interest in making sure that, you know, because franchises, typically the people who own them just want to monopolize the market, right? So that tends to be the general argument. So in the video, I'm sure you heard that I said, you know, he's starting with 5. Right now, there's only like 1 or 2 open.
1 per borough, right?
Yes, 1 per borough, and he's only opened 1, I believe. Next year, they're going to open the rest. There are 13,000 bodegas and grocery stores in New York City. So 5 city-run grocery stores are not going to tank the overall situation, right? Like, that's not what's actually going to happen. And these Mamdani's markets is what I like to call them. They are being placed in areas that actually really need them. They're not being placed in affluent areas, right? Like, they're not being placed in, you know, already fulfilled with staple foods, right? These are going to be communities that actually are going to be served by these city-run grocery stores that the market is, you know, there's a gap for it because typically they want to be in more affluent situations so that they can up their profits.
There's 13,000 grocery store. Those are the 5 boroughs. So you're talking about 1 store per each of those areas. And, you know, like, this is a pilot, right? Like, you don't make 100 episodes of a TV show. You shoot like a pilot, right? Like 1, and then you see how it goes, and then you learn something. It's like a case study. Which is also ironic. You can tell how this entire argument is on their
Yeah.
side, because like literally all of them hire McKinsey for $5,000 an hour, management consultants, so that they can learn the most profitable way to wipe their asses. So like they know exactly what a case study is. They know exactly what a pilot is. They know exactly what he's doing, and they're afraid it will work, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And they're afraid people will like it. And my whole entire argument about this particular pilot and just in general is that socialism is going to perform in polls in purple states the same way that the word Trump will, which is it will be underreported because people will be afraid to say, I like socialism on the phone with a stranger, the same way they say, I like Trump. And I think that you're going to see electorally it overperforms because everybody is hurting right now.
Yes, I absolutely think this is 100% political. And that's the bottom line with propaganda, is that it always boils down to who wants to manipulate the narrative in their favor. So capitalists of the left, their argument is very much they want these socialist, social forward policies to fail, because then they can continue with the narrative that we should be voting for moderates, we should be voting for centrists who are not going to present grocery stores that are going to kill small businesses, right? That is also a manipulation tactic. So I think, with other places that have tried to have city-run grocery stores done before and have failed, one, they've tried to do it in smaller areas, right? Like the economics have to make sense as well. So I think that, Zohran doing it in New York City is perfect, right? It's a huge city. The economics are, massive. I would say somewhere like Los Angeles would also benefit from something like this. Chicago could also benefit from something like this. Like the bigger cities are going to really should be the test runs for a lot of the stuff, because they're going to be able to absorb whatever isn't going to work, and they're going to be able to experiment a lot more and a lot easier than somewhere in Timbuktu, Indiana, that doesn't have that same amount of leeway to test out what works, what doesn't work. There's also something to be said about how capitalists don't want you to remember that they are inflating prices. So they want this to fail for that reason as well, right? Like we've seen how Whole Foods has gotten sued by consumers because of overly inflated prices. Typically, your margins at a grocery store are going to be pretty thin, right? Like they're going to be pretty minor. But grocery stores like Whole Foods, who market themselves off of, we're bringing in organic, whole foods, things that have less pesticides or no pesticides, local groceries that, if you don't have a farmer's market near you, like we're going to be your farmer's market. So local foods as well. They market on all of this so that you will pay more, you will pay higher rates. And they have gotten sued for this before, at least on the Whole Foods side. Places like in LA, we have Erewhon. Those are marketing grocery stores that are branded to be like, you're not going to find this kind of strawberry anywhere else. So we can charge you $20 per carton instead of the $6.99 that you're paying at another grocery store, right? So they don't like these city-run grocery stores because, one, you're already paying 30% less than for staple foods than you are at a typical grocery store. These capitalistic franchise grocery stores are going to have to contend with the fact that the public now knows, damn, I am hella overpaying for this food that I can already barely afford.